to make your own 3D dimensional paste. A sealable container. This contained ice cream from a certain chain of cheapy German supermarkets. Washed out, it seals quite well when it's shut. Maybe not quite airtight, but the more airtight the better. Home filler, the normal stuff, filling screw holes and cracks in the walls. Pick it up from the pound shop, very cheap. And I use white acrylic gesso. I use this because although it's more expensive than normal white acrylic paint, it also has a greater density. Gesso is designed for preparing canvases prior to all the other painting you need to do, and because of that it's designed to cover blemishes and has a lot of pigment and a lot of thickness to it. And because you're starting off with something with thickness and with a lot of pigment, you will get a better effect in the end. However, you can mix this with emulsion, with normal acrylic paints, and experiment. See what you get, and hopefully it works out well for you. Because it's in a sealable tub, it will keep for absolutely ages, as long as you keep that lid on good and tight. And it is simply a matter of mixing about 1 to 1 to begin with. Of the filler powder and the gesso. Obviously you can adjust the mix to what you need as you go along. So there's about 1.5, maybe 2 tablespoons, and then about the same of gesso. My tub's nearly empty. 1, 2, and mix well. A little interruption, but just ensure it's mixed really, really well. And because the plaster is in here, it will just help the gesso keep its form. It is messy. I'm doing this at my drawing bench, which is not the best place to do it, obviously. However, it's where I do my videoing. It would be much better on a kitchen cabinet or outside. Now this is a bit thicker than I like it, so I'm going to add as much more of the gesso as I can get out of here. I do have another tub ready to open. I wouldn't advise adding water to this to actually sort of make it more moist, because then you're defeating the purpose of starting with gesso with all the thickness and the pigment. As you can see, this is coming to a lovely cementy sort of consistency. If you make it ahead of time as well, any little dry patches will have had an opportunity to absorb all the moisture from the gesso. As long as the lid's on, then the moisture will just balance out through the mix rather than dry out. So every time you use it, give it a little bit of a mix. And it should be absolutely fine. And as you can see, this is coming up beautifully now into a lovely little paste. It's got some adhesive capability and some gap filling capability. It does shrink back, so don't expect this to be useful as a moulding compound. I have tried and failed. it shrinks back quite substantially on a normal silicone mould. But I'll keep experimenting and hopefully get to a consistency that will allow me to make normal mouldings from the Sugarcraft moulds and use them in my work. Because this is an acrylic base, you can add tints as much as you want. So you could start off with black or a brown. On the Steampunk clock I used this mixed with green and blue to make turquoise, and I used this mixed with the paste to make the verdigris. Now initially I added a small amount of the turquoise, which, because this has a white base, left me with a light mixture. I halved that, added more turquoise, and that left me with a darker mixture. And then I applied the dark mixture as the base, let it dry for a little while. So here we go. Move that out of the light. Here's the paste, and here is a little cheapy canvas board, and as you can see, it goes on as you would expect. A little bit gritty at the moment because I haven't mixed it well enough, but I'm sure you will. And then with the aid of a simple stencil, just pull out from my stash, you can get, I'll use the stuff that's here, some lovely three-dimensional effects, especially when you're doing distressed work. That can be coloured, highlighted, inked, dry brushed, anything to increase the texture and the feeling of depth. But using this dimensional paste, this 3D modelling paste, you will start off with the best possible effect. Thanks very much.